This is Margaret in Windsor, and I want to continue that tape. I didn't get much on it, but I'm just going to say this real quick. This is my uncle uh, George VI. He's illegal. He worked for the Americans. He helped take down his own brother, my father, King Edward VIII, with nothing but lies. It was illegal. I was born in 39 and heir to the British Crown, legal. And he helped kidnap me. He helped Joe Kennedy, who had been appointed ambassador by Roosevelt to England. And JFK and his older brother flew in there all the time, even addressed the House of Commons. How's that? Took over Great Britain. Installed their own king. Suddenly they like kings, right? I thought that was the reason they stole everything from us, in which is a big joke anyway. No wonder I don't like tea. I'm British, but I don't like tea because it must remind me of your thievery, America. And by the way, you kidnapped me and you brought me here. And you must have hated my guts. Somebody on that I read in a comment, and yes, I know who she is, and she'll know who I am. It was on Britain First, who I totally support. It's about time. Now we're beaten to a pulp by Americans, and is really who's done it all. But she made some comment about hatred, and she was talking about Great Britain. And she's a citizen there, and by the way, she works for the so-called, or did, Margaret Rose, Elizabeth's sister, I believe. Forgive me if it's a society she works for. The very comment, let the woman walk in my shoes or the real Brit shoes for 1 second and see how she stands up. And I don't know, you'd think I'm 75 years old if it's ever told the moment by moment and daily torture they've done to me and my children, other than depriving me of my culture, my country, my mom and dad, and putting things that are so barbaric. I wouldn't say they're barbaric. They're up to date and terrorist, torture, you name it. So, I have to think that all these people must have hated me. You think? They must hate Great Britain, and yet they call them their friends. By the way, when the big supposedly friendship started is when I was kidnapped in 41. So they held Great Britain hostage. They put their military bases all over Britain, held us hostage. They're global now. They wanted Africa. They took South Africa, and now they're Center for Disease Control and Emory and labs. And I was telling this in 78. I did a book about mind control and programming. I'd worked for doctors. And I was doing some things out at, well, it wants to fall here, and I'll use all my time up, excuse me. Anyway, I wrote about it, and I had antifreeze put in me and should have died April Fool Day of 80. And I had a letter from the U.S. Attorney, and it was ongoing investigation, national security involved. So I could go on back, and my life has been a living hell, and that's what I was told, and indeed it has been. I don't know where Mark and Scott, who are heirs after me to the British Crown, legitimate heirs, not Elizabeth, living very nicely, carrying those flowers. Wonder if she could carry them if she's getting her head shocked, and two Jew doctors were kind of holding her down there, and every couple of times a week you had to go in, and the drugs that are illegal diagnosis. It really was diagnosis murder. Anyway, that's something that I hope is shown too. And then where they were going to lobotomize me during the Watergate tapes and stuff. By the way, when I worked for the district attorney, after the antifreeze was put in me, and my apartment stolen, my kids, all of it, should have died. And that in itself was living hell. I was across the state line. I worked for Fred Simpson then, the DA, and now I've forgotten. I don't have this written down. I did want to put this about Oliver North hearings. I was up there July 1987. The 25th, I believe, is when they shut the hearings down. It was on Sunday, if I remember correctly. Anyway, Sir Terry Waite they had put a chip in him, and yes, Oliver North. And you should hear the sick jokes that during that campaign. I'm living up on the Appalachian Trail, freezing and starving up here in Roanoke. And they had a campaign headquarters down here. And you know, I went in there, and it was dark, and I'm having to walk up to the mountain, up the Appalachian Trail with everybody knowing about it. And you should hear what he had to say. He knew that my father was married to my mom, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, never married Wallace Simpson, double did, and I've shown that on all the other tapes. And as I went out the door in the condition I was in, this sorry sot made some ugly comment about my father. All that was a lie, and he knew it and said so. But anyway, this is my sons, Mark and Scott. This is an old photo. And I don't know where they are. Mark is heir after me, and then Scott. This is one of the mind control murders, Tucson, Arizona. You can create an illness or cure an illness, or you can make a murder, like suicide, which is mind control. Looks like it's a normal death, or anyway. This is Gabby Gifford, Congresswoman, Tucson, Arizona, where they programmed just like Aurora, Colorado, and Sandy Hook shootings, and John Lennon. You can program one, or like Elvis Presley, or I could keep going, Duke Wayne, or there's a whole list of them. Dorothy Kilgallen, who suddenly was supposed to become paranoid schizophrenic and killed herself, which it was mind control. She had the link to the Kennedy, and the Kennedys kidnapped me. So this was Gabby Gifford, and the a young fellow was programmed to commit those murders there in Tucson. And this is her husband, Mark, and his twin is Scott Kelly, and they're astronauts, both of them. Now then, I was given the name Kidnapped from Buckingham Palace by my own uncle. I've shown this many times, and then my tape video, I can't video that long. I don't know how, really. I'm not that in tune to my computer, I suppose. This is my Uncle George VI, and he's illegal. He worked for the Americans, and this is Roosevelt, who appointed Joe Kennedy ambassador to England 36 till they kicked him out in 46. They gave me the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married to Childers. They've even changed the date of birth, and that's supposed to be illegal on both the twin and anyway, everything they've done is illegal, and today they're standing up there, and it's all I can take, the arrogance, talking about the Twin Towers, and they're talking about how sad it is for Americans when you go back in time and all you have to do, everything changed when they kidnapped me and took my father down. Everything changed. That's when the United States put its military bases all over British soil and used it as a launching pad to control the world. You go back to when they stole it. And 4th of July they celebrate. Well, they just give it another name like independence, and they make the colonies bad. They make king and queen bad, and now then they insert their own, George VI, who works on their behalf, or did, and now the illegal Elizabeth. The treaties are all illegal, but you got to be able to enforce it, to take them off. How would you do that? And look what I hope you have to, world, look at what they've done to me and my sons here in this country. And it just about kills me because I've walked, they knew about it before me, the media did. It's controlled by the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, the Illuminati, which Obama and Elizabeth are a part of, and the Clintons. And it is more than you can take at times to know that everybody's sad and all this, when all you have to do is go back and look at what they've done to Great Britain, and then go out